recording The Last Airbender or The Legends of Korra?
Ooh, yes. I don't know if it's, well, it's the most memorable, I'd say. So, Melon Lord scene, we're all familiar. That day, I had laryngitis. So we saved the Melon Lord mwahaha line till the end because it was, yelling. And so we finished the rest of the lines. We got there, and my voice just wasn't doing it. My regular timbre of like I am not tough wasn't working. I would start laughing and going mwahaha, and it just cut out. Like I just didn't have the range. So if you listen to that line in comparison to the rest of the lines, I kind of put on a voice where I'm like, I am not tough, and I go lower because I could not speak normally, and we were so close that they didn't want to have me come back in just for one line. So that line, just sticks with me because I remember being in the booth and feeling so bad because I was like, okay, we're good enough, and we'd made it through the whole session, and then it just wasn't working. And Andrea's like, no, we can make it work. Like, play with it. Like, what if we make your voice a little lower? Like, can you just do something more dramatic? And then we did. So your Melon Lord line is laryngitis Melon Lord. So that one really stuck with me. Yeah. Well, and the last episode where there were 10 of us, and then Mark Hamill was also there, and then everybody was freaking out because my mom walked in and was losing it, and I was like, what's going on? I don't understand. And then that was a cool moment. But do you have a
No. I think it's probably that again. It's Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah.
It was literally.
It all comes back to
It was
Stone.
that last record session, and he came into the green room and sat next to me, and I'm going, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be a professional. What am I doing? Luke Skywalker's sitting next to me. I'm just not going to talk to him. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to act like I don't even know who he is. I've never seen this guy before. So, and this is what a lovely human he is. We went in and did the recording session, and he comes up to me afterward and said, hey, that was nice work in there. Hi, we haven't met. I'm Mark Hamill. I know who you are, man. I know. So, Mark Hamill stories today.
Yeah, it seems like a whole dream, the whole thing that we did. It's so many years ago, and I think back, and I'm like, it's like this crazy dream that I had, and then you watch the episodes like, oh, we did do that.
That's me?
Crazy. But there's so many great memories. There was the Mark Hamill thing is always a great memory. This guy, when he did his first episode, because Mako had passed away, and I've known Mako since I was 12, and he's played my uncle, my father for so long over my career, and we were all emotional about the situation. And then if you watch the show, it happened when Uncle Ira was in jail. So he passes away. We go in there, and the next episode, I'm talking to Uncle Ira, I'm trying to apologize, right? And if you remember, there's no lines. Uncle Ira doesn't speak back. Mako's gone. And it was very just somber and crazy and sad. And then the next episode, Greg comes in. But we don't know Greg. We just met him. He's supposed to replace Mako. We're okay. And in Nickelodeon and on Olive in the studios, it's a big room, and there's a separate room for a solo. It's a room we're all in, and there's one room where they usually put me in there a lot of times because
The timeout.
I hate them. Because Jack and May and stuff are doing scenes together, and Zuko can just go sit in the room by himself. But that day, you were in that room, and then.
It was I was terrified. I was literally terrified.
And so we couldn't really see Greg, and we're doing the scenes, and then he starts talking, and it was like Mako's back from the grave, and where all the actors are crying. I look in the booth, all look like Mike and Brian and Andre. Everyone's we're all emotional. It was crazy. It's a very strong, powerful memory in my mind.
The thing is, it's one thing just to replace the voice of an iconic character, but this was an iconic actor that voiced the iconic character, and I'm walking into a room full of people that were his friends. So, how did I feel that day? I was really, really scared. And you guys were also, you were very kind to me. I'm eternally grateful to you, my nephew,
Thank
for
you,
the
Uncle.
kindness that you showed me.
Thank you, Uncle.
Well done, my friend. Well done. Thank you very
guys.
much. Next question, right into the microphone.
Hi, this is for Fire Lord Daddy. Dante, excuse me.
Flame me out, man. Flame me out. Flame me
Okay,
out.
so you started your career on the movie Hook,
Yes.
and that was one of the first movies I saw in theater. And after that, I absolutely loved everything that Robin Williams was in. And I had a complete week-long meltdown when that happened with Robin. And later, in your career, you worked with his daughter Zelda, And I was just wondering how it was working with that family at two different points in your career, when you're getting started and when you're established. And obviously, if you guys connected over memories of her father.
Yeah, I mean, rest in peace, Robin Williams. First and foremost, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And I count myself fortunate, someone I got to work with him, and he was just, I mean, he's the genie. I mean, he's the genie from Atlanta, but he really is a genie. He's like so fast and so funny and so smart and so witty and so such a big heart, so loving. But also when he's around, you know, magical things happen. That's Robin Williams. I'd show up on my days off to watch him work. I would just show, I'm not even working. I'm just like showing up on the set. Steven's like, what are you doing here? Steven Spielberg's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just coming to see. I mean, I work here. I can come here, right? I would show up on set my days off to watch Robin Williams act in improv and Dustin Hoffman do character work. And I'm like this 15-year-old kid sitting next to Steven Spielberg on the set, like, they let me on the lot. So, and then years later, I mean, I met Zelda also when she was young. She was a kid, you know? And I know that her mom, Marsha, and she's great. And then I ran into, you know, Zelda later on in life. We worked together, and I even seen her recently. I mean, she directed Lisa Frankenstein, so she's kind of grown up and doing great things. You know, I was talking to her about her dad. This is how great, this is like Zelda, so she's like, you know, when we were doing the thing, me and my brothers created a Dead Poet Society before I met Robin Williams, because it's one of my favorite movies. And we created this Dead Poet Society in my neighborhood, and it was called 13607 1/2, which is like the address of like this place we would go write poems and do all this stuff, right? And so in the middle of Hook, we went to because I'm from like Compton area. We went to Compton Indoor Swap Meet, and we got a hat made that said 13607 1/2, which was like our clique, and then underneath it said, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," like from the movie. And all my boys came to the set one day, and we took a picture with Robin Williams, right, on the set with "Oh, Captain, my Captain." Years later, you know, Zelda, I was talking to her, and I was like, you know, she's like, I was cleaning out my dad's stuff. This is like right during COVID. She's like, I was cleaning up my dad's stuff, and look what I found. And she sent me a picture. She's like, he kept that hat all these years.
Oh.
Yeah, so I love the Williams family, man. They're great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your question.
Hi. I was wondering if you guys had a favorite tea.
If we what?
If you have a favorite tea.
A
Favorite tea. Yes, my favorite tea is your tea.
Yeah. I was about to say, so
I actually have a tea company.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
insert.
It's good tea, too.
Yes.
It's amazing.
We're called Rufio Matcha. It's matcha tea, ceremonial grade matcha coming from Japan. But we did a pop-up in LA to launch the company. But I do love matcha tea. I love all different kinds of tea. I love, you know, oolong. I love peach. I love white tea. I love all tea. But matcha tea I really like, especially really high-end matcha tea. So me and my wife created this company called Rufio Matcha. And you can get some Rufio Matcha at rufiomatcha.com.
Yeah, pull out your
You
phones
knew.
right-
You guys are friends. You did that on purpose.
I'm actually really into tea right now, and I've been like really messing with like temperatures and different types of leaves and stuff.
There you
so,
go.
Like I'm gonna.
Well, now my turn to plug. No, just kidding. I personally love a good like London fog, like a lavender London fog.
Me too, my
That's like,
favorite.
or an Earl Grey, like a really good Earl Grey, like in London. I feel like that's the peak. Anyway, but I started getting more into kind of temperatures and like the right steeping times and all that because of a tea company in Sacramento. They gifted me 61 different flavors of tea based on every single episode of Avatar. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And so then I just started a YouTube
We
channel
drank the
for
Fire
real.
Nation one.
Yes, yeah. Called Tea Time with Tough, where I tried all the teas and watched all the episodes. And so I now really appreciate a good like fruit tea, like a dried pomegranate with like a dried, that's really good. I still do love the London Fog situation. And I've learned to really appreciate green teas in like different capacities, because like they all can taste so different when you do different temperatures and different steep times and different ages. It's like all crazy. There's so many different flavors. Anyway, but still London Fog I think is still on top for me. That was a long answer. What about you, Greg?
Well, you know, this is. I hate to disappoint you all. My favorite tea is tequila. Thank you very much.
How about that Long Island?
The Long Island tea. They make very good tea in Long Island
There
as
you
well.
go.
Very good. You know, here is wisdom from Uncle Iro, because everything sounds wise when he says it. 1 Long Island tea is delicious. 2 Long Island teas are also delicious. 3 Long Island teas are always a mistake.
Thank you guys.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Great question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Avatar Tea House coming soon, everybody.
You know, it would be fun.
It would be. That's all a lot of work, too. You know, operating a tea house, an actual tea house.
We'll
would be,
do
you
it
know.
for you. It's okay. I'll build it.
All right, great.
Okay.
All right, done. Sold.
Your question, sir.
Yes. What is for your character? What is the worst piece of advice you think your character would give someone?
Worst piece of advice that your character would give someone.
I feel like it was probably while I was raising my children, and I didn't know how to be nice to them. Probably some lack of empathy in the earlier years. I mean, you know, we see her towards the end of Korra soften a little, and she was like, "I did okay, right? Like, I'm sorry. I tried my best. We figured it out." But definitely, I feel like in early teen years. Probably her worst advice, just to be sappy, was, you know, if one of her daughters was having a hard day and she was just like, "Get over it." You know? It's like, that's probably not the most helpful. I mean, we saw her screaming at Twinkle Toes, trying to teach him, you know, earthbending, and Qatar's like, he really appreciates a more gentle, "Keep your knees high, Twinkle Toes," and I freak out, you know. So she's not the most gentle. So I probably just am too much of a hard ass and like steamrollered over people's emotions. So anytime I was doing that, probably not great. Yeah, I don't know. What about you guys?
You're so much good advice. You're all
our
good
therapist.
I know. I'm trying to think, what advice would he give that was bad? You know, it's like, well, you know, you should make up with your father. He's not such a bad guy.
That's not bad. I'd be like, "Hey, Jet, you know, we should go do everything you want to do. I think you're right."
Your ideas are good.
Jet, me and you, let's do this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on up to the mic.
Okay, so my question to you guys is, were there any lines that you improvised that made it into the show? And even if they didn't, do you have a favorite line that you did improvise?
I feel like most of the improvisation was Jack.
Jack,
it was
yeah.
Jack, yeah.
A lot of, you know, like the cactus situation, you know. That but I think I didn't have really anything aside from like combat fighting, you know, effects that, you know, there was some flexibility there. But I think Mike and Brian were really, you know, that's what makes this so good too, and it made our jobs easy.
It's not a big improv show. I think
No.
PJ and Corey, he got to do some good improving, and then Jack got to improv a bit of stuff. I'm not
Not a
improving
big
Zuko.
No.
No.
And I was just so terrified to be there at all. It's like,
Right.
I am not deviating from these words, you know.
There's a lot of different things going on in this show that you're like, I don't think I can just go off the whim and just start talking about random stuff in Ba Sing Se.
No.
I don't know it like that. When I did American Dragon Jake Long, we, yeah, thank you. We improv'd. I just made up half that script. I was just doing so much kind of like whatever. This kid's hip hop. He wasn't even written hip hop. I just made him hip hop
Made him.
because he was from New York, and I was like, yo.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we're rapping. I was in a press conference for Disney, like, I'm so happy Disney has a hip hop show. And like the president is like, I didn't know we had a hip hop show.
You do now. You do
You
now.
do. You got it.
Yeah, so sorry if that's not an exciting answer, but
I mean, I'm just glad that I could ask it.
Thank you.
Well done.
you.
Well done. Right into the microphone.
So I have like a career question for you guys. For those of you who have done voiceover acting and like camera acting, how would you say they differ, and what prepared you for doing voiceover acting if you did camera acting first?
Me? What's your name?
My name's Brianna.
Brianna. You're an actress?
I'm in theater, fourth generation.
You're an actor. You're an actor. This is the deal. Good acting transcends everything. That's all it is. We're acting on the mic. The difference is there's a camera getting your performance, and there's a microphone getting your performance. The work you're doing on the character and how you're acting actually doesn't change. The technique changes because it's only a microphone, so you're doing stuff on the microphone. You gotta understand how to work on the microphone. Or there's a camera in the room, and it's taking your image, but you're still, how it feels when you're doing the character and how it feels when you're doing the scenes is the exact same feeling. It just changes. It even changes when you're on film and television, because when you're on television, a lot of times on stage, when you're on stage, they see your whole body. Your whole body, right? When you're on television, your face and your body might be, depending on the size of TV, 19 inches, 20 inches, whatever. When you're on a movie screen, your face is 20 feet tall. Yeah, so your acting changes, but the feeling in what you're doing changes. But so you may have to yell or get crazy on stage because you're seeing the whole thing. Whereas when your face is 20 feet tall, you may have to only like feel it and think it, and the same feeling's there. Same thing when you're on the microphone. It just, the medium of how you're telling the story changes. But your work as an actor is the same. So.
Fantastic answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I feel like I've been trying to navigate this. I mean, you've been doing stuff for so long, and I feel like transitioning between like stage and then recording booth and then like set and on camera, whatever, is tricky. And I feel like that those shifts are something that I'm trying to smooth out, because I feel like it's like tricky for me to just go back and forth. But then I just am trying to return to character. That's what I keep trying to do in the script, and like how I feel, and like that kind of internal, just who is this, and then let the rest happen naturally once like I'm in the medium, and kind of let it influence everything. But like, I don't know, lately I've just been thinking a lot about character, and that's what makes something rewatchable too.
Totally.
Is good character. And that's kind of a combination of writing and actor, but I also think it's really writing. If you're given good writing, if you're given good character, then your job is easy.
Yeah.
And it's just easy to inhabit.
A lot of great performances, there's like the actor created.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just watching Professional Leon, and you're like looking at Gary Oldman's performance, you're like, everything he did, he just created. Obviously, there's no way they said or say these lines. Like, there's no story.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a crazy cop walking around that we can all. And then the job of the actor sometimes is to fill in the gap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a communal effort, I think.
And when it's done right, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think for me, it was always, if you're on camera, you're going to be on set for 15 hours, and a lot of it you're going to be sitting around waiting. For voice acting, you're going to be in a booth for about an hour and a half, and then you can go home. Now, I'm a lazy man, and there was no question as to which one. I mean, I like the voice acting. I'm lazy. I'm allowed. I'm an old man.
Take
enjoy
some
my
credit.
sunset years.
A little credit.
You are.
Hello, your question.
I was wondering how you came up with like the voice for your character.
Well, Dante is just Dante.
I just opened my mouth, and then I was just trying to regular act, and they were like, "That sounds good."
Yeah. I was grateful. I was 12 at the time when I was cast. I was voiced. Oh my gosh, English. I was cast as Ming in season 1 first. If you remember the fortune teller episode. Yeah. Woo! I love her. She's so sassy. My whole resume is just a lot of sassy, opinionated. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I guess that tracks. Anyway, and around that time, I think I was just turned 11 when I voiced Ming, and they kind of already were thinking of making Toph a girl, and so they kind of heard my spunk and liked it. So whenever I auditioned for Toph, I just kind of grounded her a little bit more and dug into my tomboy side, because I like life. I like everything. I like, shopping and food and high heels and like feeling pretty, but I also love taking off my shoes and climbing a tree and like rolling around and camping and not showering for 4 days. Like, it's both. It's, both. So I dug into that side and just kind of let my personality in that, kind of area come through. And my audition script was The Blind Bandit. So I got to do the fun, sounds to me like you're scared, Boulder, or whatever. That was my audition. So it was fun. And my grandma actually was with me at the time because I was in Indiana visiting them. And she was like, who reads these other lines? And I'm like, nobody. Like, you just read your character and then you go home. She's like, well, that's silly. I'll read these lines. And I was like, okay. So my audition tape is my grandmother being the Boulder. And me being Toph. Whenever you're ready, the Pebble. Yeah, so that was what got me the part. And I don't know where that audition tape is.
Oh.
I have no idea, because this was before, these hadn't come out yet.
the
Like,
recording
Facebook
devices.
didn't exist. Like, I have no idea where that recording is. But if there's, like, an archive deep somewhere in the Nickelodeon basement, I want to find it.
With your,
So,
your grandmother running
with my
lines at you.
grandmother being the Boulder. Yeah, anyway, so I just dug into my kind of tomboy side and then just was 12.
And my voice was Mako's voice. That's, I was literally hired to try to sound like Mako as much as I could. And I think to varying degrees I succeed. I mean, when I first started watching the show, I was like, oh, Baldwin, you suck. You're going to get fired. You sound nothing like Mako. But the older I get and the more distance, I think I appreciate it a little more. And it's weird. I'll tell the story because you've heard the story, but I will tell you the story because destiny is a funny thing. You never know how things are going to work out. The reason I do an impression of Mako, and the reason they plucked me out of obscurity, I was working at Disney in a day job. I was a theater actor. As a young kid, at 10 years old, I knew that I wanted to be an actor. And from that point on, I also loved musicals. So I would only want for my birthday or for Christmas record albums from musicals that were popular at the time. And for my 17th birthday, it would be September 13th, 1977, there was a musical that had opened in New York called Pacific Overtures. It was by Stephen Sondheim, and it starred an actor named Mako Iwamatsu. And man, the first time I heard this, it's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard, because musicals up to that point and this was actually pre-Sweeney Todd. Yeah, I think so, or after pre-Sweeney Todd. So it was the first time Sondheim is doing things that no one else has ever done. He's exploring these giant global issues and the influence of the West on Japan, and it's a great musical. And the musical begins with Mako's voice, Nippon, the floating kingdom. And from the moment I heard this, I went, wow. I would sing along with this record album over and over and over and over again. I still know the entire score. I could sing it for you now. So sit back. You're going to be here for a little while. But the bottom line is, 2006, Mako sadly passes away, and they're looking for someone that can do a Mako impression. And unbeknownst to me, I had been working on a Mako impression since 1977. So destiny is indeed a funny thing. If my parents had given me a different record album for my 17th birthday, somebody else would probably be sitting up here right now. So you never know how things are going to work out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's so cool. It never gets old. It never
And it
gets
is true.
old.
That's the thing.
It's
It's
so
actually
cool.
completely true.
I
It's not even
know.
fabricated.
Ugh, wow.
Amazing. Your question.
Hi, I was just wondering if you had any thoughts of the recent Netflix live action adaptation.
There it is.
I knew that was coming.
Well, first, I'm directing back to you with just sound effects. What do you guys think?
Loved it.
Okay. Okay. What'd you say?
Did in the best way possible.
Okay.
In the best way possible.
I feel like it was weird for me because I'm so used to seeing animation. It was really hard for me to watch it be real. It kind of messed with my brain for a little bit. I feel like it's still processing because I'm so used to seeing Sokka be like, wink, and then it's a real person. So, I think like the translation is like messing with me. But I don't know. It's cool. I feel like the cast is really sweet. We were lucky enough to go to the premiere a couple weeks ago, and like everybody was really nice. And I feel like Gordon is such a sweetheart, and I just like love him. So I don't know. It's been cool. It's been cool. I mean, obviously, I'm not in it yet, but then we got greenlit. I don't know. We'll see who they cast.
They got your number. Netflix has your number.
Oh, that's not for no. No, I'm gonna find who they cast, and hopefully we can be like, let's do silly TikToks together. That's what my hope is.
I watched the first episode and I liked it very much. I think it's very well cast. I'm really glad that they were picked up for season 2 and 3 because they're going to get to tell the whole story. The only thing they absolutely have to get right is Leaves from the Vine. That is the one thing, and I do have a theory about that. If the Netflix executives, if you're listening, Netflix, this is how to do it and get it absolutely right. Because if Paul sings that, and I never sing that song, you know, people still ask me for some reason to sing the song. No, I will not sing it. It's Mako's song, and that if Paul sings the song, like a large portion of the fandom isn't going to like it because it's not Mako singing the song. If he sings a different song, a large portion of the fandom isn't going to like it because he's not singing Leaves from the Vine. If he doesn't sing it at all, nobody's going to like it. Yeah. So the only way you can actually shoot that and make literally everybody in the fandom happy is shoot it beautifully. It's lit the way it's lit in animation with the sun, the golden sort of, twilight sort of look to it. You see, Iroh's silhouette, at the memorial to his son, and in the background, quietly, you play Mako's original version. From Netflix, if you're listening, and while we're at it, Netflix, if you're listening, we are available to play the Ember Island players. I'm just saying, we're all totally available.
Yeah, it's cool. We went to the premiere, and it was really great to see it come alive. I never saw the film that shall not be named.
There is no film in Bossing Six.
I never saw
There was
that
a film?
But to see the bending, it kind of felt like a fairy tale that we've all known for so long kind of come to life, and it was really cool. And it's different from the animation. I haven't finished all of it yet, but I think the cast is great. They're wonderful, and I think, it's different, but it still pays homage to everything. And I love seeing, we're Team Avatar. We're like Avatar fan for life, so it's great to see the world expand, and there's so many more things coming out, and so it's just exciting to see Avatar, get bigger.
Thank you very much.
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing
Good.
well.
Very well.
Dante, it's good to see you again, buddy.
Good to see you.
Noah from Braving the Elements.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
right.
bending episode.
Good to see you.
Came all the way down from Minnesota. But anyway, my question is... Yeah, hey. My question is simple. If you could... There's 4 elements in the Avatar world. Water, earth, fire, air. In the music world, there are 4 names everybody knows. John, Paul, George, and Ringo. What type of bender would each member of the Beatles be?
Great question.
Never been asked that before.
George would be an airbender because George is very mystical.
Yes.
George would definitely be an airbender.
George would be an airbender. John would be a firebender.
No.
Probably Paul would be the waterbender.
Yeah, I feel like.
And Ringo would be the earth.
Yeah. I feel like that. I feel like that tracks.
Point on,
actually.
yeah.
Probably would go something like that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I was thinking John for water because he's the most chill. Paul for fire because he makes fire music. George is air, and Ringo's earth.
Earth, yeah.
Because we're weird.
Yeah, I think John and Paul can go either way. They're the yin and yang of each other. So
Right, yeah.
I don't know who is angrier. I feel like Paul was chill.
Honestly, John was probably the angrier.
Yeah, that's
person.
why I think
he
he's
was
fire.
just more. Yeah, it was the social issues at the time.
He was the angry one, and then Paul was like the pop guy with like a little more fluid, little flow with him. We don't know.
The haven't shared that information
Although,
with us.
I mean, also Paul's next group was called Wings. He could have been
That's
Airbender.
true.
That's true.
We don't know, Noah. But they definitely were the gang, for sure.
Yeah. Great question.
Thank you.
Coming up, guys. You guys look great.
You guys look awesome. If I could see you, I would love it.
Hi, Katara.
No, I was. It was a joke.
She's blind.
Over my
Ming.
head. Over my head.
She's blind, Ming. Hello.
Hi.
My question is, what is your favorite episode in the series?
Good question.
Yeah. Tales
What's
of Boston
yours?
Say, the library. The
Tales from
library.
Ba Sing Se.
I mean, it's easy to say the beach because the beach is so dope. But I just when watching it over again, just as far as like the the firebending masters,
Oh, it's
the
so
dancing
pretty.
dragons, yeah.
The dragons are so nice.
I understand. When he was like, I understand, I was like, I do understand. I understand.
Yeah, wait, Dante, how many times have you seen the show now?
Not that many times.
Okay. But you've seen all the yeah, you have because of
Well, now we're almost
'Cause
done
Brave
with it
and the
for Brave and the Elements.
Yeah.
I did watch it during COVID with a lot of you on Twitch.
Oh,
Yes,
I sort of remember.
We
yeah,
were
what's
drunk
sort of remember
But
those.
we were
most of it.
drinking shots for
we were
charity.
like doing
yeah.
drinking games.
It was bad.
So I didn't really watch it that much of it, all of it. We were hanging out, we were partying.
It was good.
But now I'm into
so
it.
glad that you
What's your, by the way, what's your favorite episodes?
I think mine is the last episode because it did give me a little bit of a chill, but then when I saw
Chill.
that,
You were not born when we did that.
I still watched it.
Okay. What about you, Katara?
I really like the episode where they go watch the play about them.
The
Amber
Amber Island
Island
Players.
Amber Island Players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. You guys
Thanks,
look awesome.
guys.
Thank you.
Step up to the mic, my friend.
If you were to have any role in the live action series, what role would it be aside from the Ember Island Players?
Anyone they want me to be. No, I don't know. I always said like when people ask me too and ask us like who else would you voice in the show or who might you identify with? And I feel like I'm kind of a real life mix of like Ty Lee and Toph. So if I got a chance to do anything Ty Lee-ish, because she's so perky and like likes to flirt and does gymnastics and that sounds fun. So like that's also part of me. Green and pink go together. Wicked. Yeah, I don't know.
Probably, I would like to do a cameo. I would like Iroh maybe to go into Iroh and Zuko go into a tea house perhaps in Ba Sing Se, and I'd like to just be the waiter, serving Iroh
Wow.
his tea. And up on the wall in the tea house is a picture of Mako, which is our founder, right?
Hell yeah.
You've been thinking. You've been thinking.
I'm a thinker, I
don't know. It's hard. I mean, I don't know. We had a long meeting. They wanted me to get on the show, and they were like, we had this long meeting, and they're like, you're too old to play Zuko. You're too young to play Iroh. And I'm like, I don't know, man. And I'm like, they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know whatever it is, it has to be Fire Nation. Because I'm not coming on there as a waterbender or anything.
No.
Like, no way. They're like,
No.
what about? I'm like, dude, the fan base, it's been too long. Like, if it doesn't make sense, I don't want to do the show. Like we gotta I'm only gonna do the show if something makes sense. Otherwise, it's like we're all too we know too much. Yeah. We can't do that.
It's called.
I love that James is the Cabbage Man. It's like really very perfect.
It's called integrity,
Thank you.
my friend. Well done. We got time for one more. Who's up? One more.
Do we have time to take like a picture like with them in the
We
background?
definitely
before we
do.
leave?
Yes, we will do that.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
You're
Last
thinking
question.
way ahead. I love it.
We're
I
trying.
love it. Your question. Finish it off, my friend.
Hi, my question is, so a big theme of Avatar is forgiveness and redemption. So my question is, do you think Azula deserves a redemption arc?
What a great final question. Friends on the couch. Care to go first?
Go for it.
Oh.
You go.
Okay.
You go, Michaela.
No.
And I would say yes, actually. I think the only thing Iroh ever says that I think is out of character is when he says she's crazy and needs to go down.
I agree.
He loves his nephew. He loves his son. His niece has severe psychological trauma, and you would think, but it may also be that she just didn't want help, whereas Zuko did, and Azula has to want to change before she can change.
That's true,
Isn't
but
that a
she also did
testament
not
to
have
the
an
fact-
Uncle Iroh in her life. Her mom disappeared, and she grew up believing that she was a monster, and her mom didn't love her. So, I mean, she really had no one to stir her in the path of, hey, is this actually what you want, or are you just following your father's orders?
Yeah.
She also agreed with that, though. She like absorbed it and enjoyed like that identity.
That's the thing. As like a person with siblings, with and I have a sister. You know, I would think as Zuko, like you do, like he's like Uncle, like it's your family. Like you want to see them have a redemption for sure. But then also, you know, it's a world and there's these lessons that you learn, and these are two children that are children of abuse, right? Of physical abuse, of mental abuse, of neglect, and you see two paths of the children of abuse that can go. Also, one of the creators is like, you know, she could be the Joker of our universe. And does anybody want to see the Joker get redemption, or let the Joker be the Joker?
That's true.
That's a very good point.
And I was like,
very good point.
I was like, oh, is she Joker? We don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, we
Thanks,
can ask
guys.
Mark Hamill that, the voice of the Joker, right?
Full circle.
Full circle.
All right, let's get this picture. Get some house lights
Thank
on.
you, guys.
Stand up and go
Thank you,
nuts. We're going to take it over this way. I got you.
Got me?
Yeah.
You're the best.
All right, stand up. Go nuts, everybody. I got the picture. I'm going to take it. I got you
try
guys.
to do 0.5 maybe?
Yes, you'll get everybody. Looks good. All right, need everyone to go nuts. Put your hands up. Go crazy. Go crazy. Yeah, there you go. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take a bunch here. Go nuts, everybody. Go nuts. Come on. Good. Yeah. Awesome. I got you guys. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys. Give it up for Michaela, Greg, and Dante, everybody. Have a great day here. Go see them at their tables. Get there early. It's going to be long lines. Give it up, everybody. Thank you, Planet Comic Con. I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day.